Yes, we have in our Abuja studio now a couple of people. Well, one person in Abuja studio and the other person will be joining us virtually. The leader of the Hausa community in Jama. He's also general manager of Kaduna State Water Corporation. He joins us in our Abuja studio. Lawal Maikudi, thank you very much for joining us this morning. We also have the
Sanusi,
president. Oh, okay, Sanusi Maikudi, beg your pardon. We also have the president, Southern Kaduna People's Union. He joins us virtually as well. Gentlemen, thank you for this, for being a part of this conversation this morning. Let's begin with you in our Abuja studio, Sanusi Maikudi, leader of the Hausa community and GM of Kaduna State Water Corporation. First of all, these issues have been on for so long, and people are wondering, what really are the issues? Now, there are many things in public domain about why this has been going on. Where do you stand on this, and what is the peculiar issue that we are probably not giving attention to?
Thank you very much. Viewers, good morning. No one can deny that we have a very big security and violent conflict in southern Kaduna. In my last engagement with the channel's television, I defined it as age-long, complicated and complex. And any stakeholder who is intending to resolve the problem, he should adopt the craft of doctors. First, before you treat any ailment, you have to properly understand it. Unfortunately, instead of objectively dissecting the issues, comprehensively articulating what they truly are, the issue has been hijacked by some politicians, some so-called champions of the people who arrogated to themselves the right to define the issues at stake. What is actually happening is that around 40 years ago, since 1980, southern Kaduna has witnessed ethno-religious conflict. It used to reoccur at different occasions for different reasons. Different governments before the current one constituted commission of inquiries that listened to all the parties in the dispute through submission of memoranda and oral defense. Thereafter, reports will be compiled, white papers will be issued, but they are not being implemented. So this lack of implementation of the white papers and the posture of the Southern Kaduna People Union, called SUKAPO, as the strongest and most dominant mouthpiece of the majority of the people in the area, does not help matters. Because the Southern Kaduna, if you look at their press statements, they are calling Nigerians who, by the design of God, happen to be in Southern Kaduna. Like myself, I'm Hausa, Muslim. If you want to call it the way we are calling the Nigerian press, I am part of the Hausa Fulani Muslims of Southern Kaduna. I was born in 1964. My father relocated here in 1945.
Mr. Ekudi, just one moment. Let's you've laid a good foundation, from your perspective. But let's take this now to Honorable Jonathan Asake, who is the president of SUKAPO that you have just referenced now. Well, Honorable Asake, how do you open on this? I mean, you definitely want to react to some of the things that you've heard him say.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good morning. Actually, this is where the problem lies. When one thing is happening, instead of looking for a solution to the issue, he is talking about a different thing. There is no doubt that Kaduna State from 1980 has undergone series of crises, some communal, some religious, and so on. But what we are facing today is different. That is what we're trying to tell Nigerians. We are facing a situation of incessant invasion of vulnerable communities that don't know why they are being invaded. And the invaders come by night or early morning hours, and they continue to massacre people in their sleep. And they massacre from community to community, from local government to local government. Of the 12 local governments of southern Kaduna, none has been left out. Most communities in those local governments have been invaded, many people massacred, many more displaced out of their communities. And in fact, there are several communities.
Just one moment, Honorable Asake. Some of the things that you have said here, well, valid as you may see it, and maybe a number of other people believe you, he has also referenced the fact that this is age-long, and you also agree, but that they have been happening for different reasons. The reasons have shifted shape over the years. That is suggesting that there is no specific reason for this, or there is a reason that is hidden and it's just shifting over time. What then would be the solution if we can't find the root cause of these issues?
It's not that we cannot find the root cause. I am actually stating that there is a reason. What we are going through now is elimination of people in their communities. And the government of the day keeps denying, living in self-denial and misleading the world that nothing like that is happening. It's genocide that is happening. It's different from the conflicts that we have had before. The fact that we have had conflicts before does not confuse with the situation where we have a different occurrence of massacre that is going on across our communities. And the government of the day in the state have chosen to call it a conflict between two communities. It is not a conflict between two communities. What we're talking about now, the killing of the 33 people that happened last week in Zangon-Katev, and another 22 people, and all the killings that have been taking place in Kajuru. We have recorded over 500 deaths, and over 60 communities are displaced. They cannot go back to farm.
Honorable Asake, I think it will be difficult for anyone. Yes. I think it will be very difficult for anyone to agree with you that there will be a government in place in a state, and that government is superintending over the genocide of its own people. But let me take this to Honorable Asake. Just one moment.
Now,
okay, go ahead.
You listen to my story. I am telling you, and I'm about to tell you what is happening. If you will believe me, and you can go on a fact finding, right now, in Chukun local government, Kajuru local government, Zangon-Katev local government, Kaura local government, there are many communities that have been displaced by these invaders. Many people have been massacred. They cannot go back to their farm. Right now in Zangon-Katev local government, for 8 weeks running, the governor has imposed a 24 hours curfew. And within this 24 hours curfew, 3 attacks have taken place with over 50 people killed and many communities displaced. Right now in Zonkwa, there are over 5,000 people that have been displaced. They are in a camp right now, hosted by an Equa Church facility, not by the government. So what are we talking about? We're talking about a situation where the narratives is being deliberately changed to take the world's attention from the genocide that is taking place in southern Kaduna. And you can
that is noted. That is noted. Just one moment, Honorable Asake. That is noted, and we'll take that further. But let me take this back to Mr. Mekudi. Now, there's something you said the other time, and I'd like you to speak to that specifically. You said that some people are using their political offices to foster some agenda. Exactly what do you mean by this?
Not political offices, but political interest. But let us go back to what Mr. Asake said. He talked of
please stay with the issue. Please stay with the issue of the political factors.
Just one moment. The IDPs in Mariri.
Just one moment.
You call us here to get perspectives.
Yes, yes, we will get the perspectives. But I'd like you to please speak to.
Give you the facts as we see them.
Okay.
He is painting a wrong picture to the world, which is dishonest and fraudulent. Mr. Jonathan Asake is from Ongwerimi in Zangon Katab local government, just less than 5 kilometers from Kafanchan. 20 to 30 years ago, it has a vibrant House of Fulani Muslim community with their leaders, their market, their shops, and today they have 100% been cleansed in 2011. Where was Mr. Jonathan Asake? Where was his senior brother, Reverend Musa Asake? We agree there are problems, but as much as the tribal southern Kaduna people are being killed, the Muslims therein are being killed in greater numbers. You go to Mariri in Samina, a Lere local government, you will see thousands of displaced IDPs. But Sokapu does not care because they are Muslims, they are Hausas, they are Fulanis. In June 11, the crisis that erupted and caused the current nightmare is a conflict on a farmland in the outskirts of Zangon Kataf. That issue lingered from 1992 to date. When we say it is age-long, it became a flashpoint because it remained unresolved. And Jonathan is comfortable. He doesn't want us to see the comprehensive picture of what is happening. He wants us to be selective in articulating the issues and deciding to paint a picture. And he's a politician.
Could you tell us
now? He's not a patriot. He doesn't regard the life of Muslims and Hausas and Fulanis in southern Kaduna as anything.
Can you hold on a minute? Let me put in the question.
Killed, he doesn't care.
Can you hold on? Let me put in the question. Now, as much as possible, let's stay with the issues and leave out personalities in this case because the issues are what needs to be addressed. Could you tell us why are these attacks going on and what do we need to do to stop them?
Which attacks?
The invasion and the killings which Mr. Asake just spoke about going on in southern Kaduna.
Ask him, ask Mr. Asake, let me tell you what happened. As I told you, I am from southern Kaduna. I was born 1964. And from 1964 to date, I have never spent more than 3 months outside southern Kaduna. The longest period I lived out of southern Kaduna was when I was in boarding schools, both secondary and tertiary levels. All my life I've been in southern Kaduna. So I know I have family members across ethnic and religious
tell us then, we're losing time. Tell us, why is it happening?
On June 11th, you need to understand, on June 11th, one farmer was found dead and is Chawe by tribe close to the bridge of the boundary between Zangon Katab and Chawe. And that gentleman happens to be a Chawe by tribe. And the neighboring Katab, instead of them to follow rule of law, take that corpse to their chief or to court and insist that the killers should be traced and punished according to the laws of the land. They took the law into their hands. And they extrajudicially killed close to 100 people. And they killed all the Fulani neighbors within the interior.
So is this a revenge?
I'm not talking about that.
Is this a revenge for that killing?
He's selecting comfortable facts.
Can you hear me? Is this a revenge for that killing now?
If anybody kills, we must be angry, regardless of whether he's a Muslim or a Christian. Life matter, either Christian or Muslim, either Fulani or Hausa.
Can you hear me, Mr. Mekudi? I need to be sure you can hear me.
It is one single humanity.
Is that why the killings is going on? Is it a revenge killing now?
Most likely it is attack and counter attacks because the judiciary have failed. All the commission of inquiry said none was implemented. Let me tell you our example. In 2011, the post-election violence in Mr. Jonathan's village, the whole Muslims there were killed, except few survivors who are now permanent IDPs in Sabanguse after Tapa on their way to Abuja in Niger State. We went to all the courts in customary court in Zankwa, magistrate court in Kafanchan, High Court in Kafanchan. The cases have lingered For 9 years now, 2011 to 2020, the only place we got judgment was from the ECOWAS court. We have gotten a judgment indicting those who kill our people, displace them and destroy their property.
So does that mean now
damages were awarded?
So
we
Mr.
are now
Maikudi,
going to Federal Court of Appeal to execute the judgment with scale.
All right. Let's get Mr. Sake before we wrap up. Mr. Sake, I hope you heard part of what he's talking about now. So what then do we do moving forward if what he says are the case, if you agree with it? Respond to that first.
Well, I didn't actually hear what, because I had problem with network here. But one thing I want to say here is that the man that sits there and talking is just misleading Nigerians. The truth about it is that he's not even from Kaduna State. Just about 5 years ago, he was a special advisor in his own home state, Katsina. And he is the one that has been actually going about causing the confusion, giving the wrong narratives. The narrative remains the same, that genocide is going on in southern Kaduna. Mass graves of our communities, or people of our communities, are there scattered everywhere. We cannot shift from that. And it is there. We are taking steps for the world to see what is going on in southern Kaduna under the watch of this administration. And that is what we know. The people that are being killed in their sleep. 90% of those people that are being massacred are women and children. If anybody gives a narrative that it is a herders and farmers clash, or it is a reprisal attacks, between communities, which reprisal? Those 3 months old children, those pregnant women that they slice their tummies and kill the children, are they also on reprisal? These are questions that he must answer. There is nothing like reprisals, attacks, or farmers herders clash.
All right, Honorable Asake, we have to thank you. I mean, just one moment, excuse me. We really have to go at this point, but we have to thank you very, very much. We just want there to be a solution. Now we know that there are other issues that need attention. Honorable Jonathan Asake is president of Southern Kaduna People's Union, as well as Mr. Maikudi, who is the leader of the Hausa community in Jama'a and general manager, Kaduna State Water Corporation. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time. We'll take a break for a message or two. We'll be right back.